I think a catalyst that's going to help App Harvest will be uh, food price inflation. As you can see, if you just type food prices inflation, you can see that the titles are groceries prices continue to surge across most categories. Food inflation heats up and energy crisis may hit. Food price inflation is on the horizon. Food price inflation to remain around 11% through 2022. So if food prices are going to go up, and App Harvest is in the food industry, they're going to have to raise prices also. So that's one catalyst I see happening. And you could just type that in. You could just click on the category news. Get used to higher food prices. That's Kraft Heinz. Food prices inflation higher for restaurants. So we're going to be paying the price. But if you get into these stocks, in my opinion, if you get into these stocks early, now that they're super cheap, they're very oversold, and the catalyst with the negative lawsuit that's pushing it lower, the lower it goes, the nicer the price for you to get in. Rising food prices put pressure on Avalon food banks. And it goes on. You could just go continue clicking. It doesn't even end. And even overseas, Egyptian consumer price inflation rises to 6.6 in September. So there's a lot going on in regards to food prices, which I think this would be a nice catalyst for them to raise their prices. It's just to have the technology to grow at a massive scale and healthy and good, indoors with the AI technology. I think as a long-term investor, this is going to be a great opportunity. I wanted to go ahead and do some cycle analysis on App Harvest. And as of right now, the dominant cycle, I can't remember what it was on my last video, but as of now, today is the 99. And you can see this little blue line right here is what the price action on average does. And it's kind of following it as the cycles, fluctuate. And it bottomed out somewhere around the 22nd, somewhere around there of September. And now it's going up to like November. I got in somewhere around here at 697. Last week I purchased a small amount at $6, 608 or 607, somewhere around there. And prices continue to push lower while the cycles are going up. I've seen stories of people buying here. You can look it up on YouTube. Buying here, they were bullish, and you can see that the cycle and price action has just kept pushing lower. And even when you see this, you're like, oh yeah, the low is in, and then this comes. And now we went below the opening of the IPO, which was $10.01. And we're like in the bearish camps. And this is when I started getting interested in the in this stock, and I've heard about it in a YouTube video talking about food crisis and food shortages. Sorry. And I said, this is a stock maybe to keep on my radar. And I kept watching it until now, putting in some cycles. And if it pans out, this is all probabilities. Is the stock market, is the stock going to go higher into 22. It's all probabilities. We don't know for sure. But I figured if I'm going to buy something, I don't want to buy it here once, cycles are intact and they're forecasting and projecting. At least I want to buy when I have the probabilities of the stock turning higher. So this is the cycle of 271 on the spectrum analyzer. So it has the biggest peak. And this is what it's projecting as a forecast. And then the dominant cycle, which is the 99 dominant cycle. When you take 99 dominant cycle and merge it with the 271 cycle, what you do is you get a composite, and this is what it's the probability of what the price or stock could possibly do. Not that it's going to do this, but it's a probability. So you want probabilities in your favor. Right now, it's not showing that it's going to turn. I've been doing some other research and some other analysis, and this week coming up, should be very important if my calculations are correct. If they don't pan out, they don't work out, then I have to keep digging and looking at other things, Gann theory and stuff like that. But just a little that I picked in regards to some research, this week is looking promising. What's going to back that up is that we either stall right here and just kind of go sideways, or things just start turning around. Maybe some news, some catalyst, something that turns it around this week. If it just kind of stalls, goes sideways, and then starts even pushing lower, then my calculations were wrong for this week coming up. But even if it stalls and it goes sideways and then starts going up, then I could kind of say that it kind of did pan out and kind of worked out, because I don't expect it to turn around and explode up, which could happen. But normally, what you would see, it kind of stalls, goes sideways, and then starts going up. But then again, like I said, if it all depends on some kind of news or this lawsuit to all drop, something crazy like that could probably maybe give it a spike going up. But what I'm looking for this week coming up is that we just stop going lower and just kind of stall out. But if we get a pop, that'll be nice. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So we'll see. But a lot of indications and stuff I've been looking at kind of indicates that. So we got to see. I've always said it in my videos, price action is king. Price action is going to do what it's going to do. And like I said, we're all dealing with probabilities. Just try to kind of get an edge. So this is what this forecasting is showing. And it says that it's positive. But to November, it kind of gets a little pullback. And then December, and we go into maybe February. The 271 by itself tops out in January. When you add the 99, pushes it to February. So that's what the cycles are showing for now on App Harvest. Here's another graph of insider trading chronology. And like I said, the negative news started coming out somewhere around August. And you can see that these individual directors were purchasing. This is where we're at now. And when they did sell was somewhere around June. Someone sold in March. And we were somewhere around here, 42.90. So you got a balance of two sellers and two buyers. What's interesting is that in the midst of all this negative stuff, when it started, which I think is maybe August 11, maybe earlier, but definitely in August, people are buying and no one has sold. Something to keep in the back of your mind. You can see here a little breakdown of the numbers of shares, and that was September the 8th, August 20. So this person has been buying and August 11th. So from August 11th, I think it started negative, and August 16 and on, 18th, the 19th, the 20th, and as of September 8th, it's been a lot of buying. So some data points to consider when you're thinking about investing on at harvest. I want to go over the chart using Elliott counting system. As you can see, we have we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once we hit 5, and the turn happens, whenever that's going to happen, then you get an ABC, and we then start turning and projecting higher. But in the meantime, what's good to see, if you're bullish, is that you're approaching the wave 5. And where is that going to end? Time will tell. But we're getting there. And according to this system, it's projecting -5, which I doubt is going to happen. I think we're going to get below 0. But we're very close to a possible turning point. Like I said, if my calculations are correct, maybe next week could bring that. But if not, we just have to wait and see with the probabilities. But I wanted to go ahead and show you that. And the next thing is some support level. This one right here is a big monthly support level. There's a pivot turning point of October 29th. This is a big level picture there. That's the monthly support. Using some calculations. This one is from this pivot here. This was the support. And you can see that we're now kissing it. Not in regards time, but in regards price level. And then this one right here was from this pivot here. And we broke through it. It'll be interesting to see. I think this is a mistake. Let's remove that. It's interesting to see what's gonna happen this week. Stokes, a very oversold. Volume is just kind of light. You see, there's nothing really happening. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this week. That's what I have my eyes on. But these are the levels and wave count where we at on the daily and possible support. So this week will be crunch time to see what happens. The last chart I wanted to cover from my last video, from the open to the high, that's 235 days, 234 days into the future. Gave us here, and that's when I started nibbling and bought, small amount. But from there, has been pushing lower. So you can see that time balance didn't really work out. It's always good to watch. And I'm going to have to adjust these to push them lower and extend them. But I just wanted to show you that. If we close that out. Using the Gann square from the IPO open to this high, we're entering some good support. So that's pretty promising. This is where we're at right now. And just in case you don't know how I did this, using the Gann square, let's show you real quick. What you do is you take the opening price, you can take the low, it doesn't matter. I just decided to take the opening price and then square that out to the high and use the 1/8 overlay and then extend it out. So you can kind of see from here on out is what you want to see how price action behaves within the grid, the Gann grid. And you can see that maybe there's not hits there, but there were some good hits here, kind of dances. You got the 1/6, and maybe you can see some things happening, but I'm just trying to keep it clean. And it dropped here, found support, kind of was going up this angle. Now we came out of it, so you have to add it. So now we had 2. And this is where we at, and this is the support that I'm watching right here. That's one thing I want to see if this level holds, or we just kind of stall right here and maybe start pushing higher. What's next? Let's see. Solar cycles are projecting higher. So that's, I mean, not really much confidence in it because we don't really have a lot of data, but I just wanted to just show it. Planetary lines. There's one that I'm using. I want to see if we could hold this level. So anywhere between 529, 528, all the way to 664. If we just could hold this, that would be nice to see. The spectrum analyzer. You can see these big spectrum waves that I have. Cycles. I did a composite of the 3 important ones, so that's not it. Put it up here. There we go. So it's showing the same thing, a bullish, cycle, but price action hasn't reflected that yet. So time will tell. Bradley model. Something interesting. What are we? The 8th. So interesting would be the 1010 and 1012. And then there's a next important date to watch would be 11/7. So we'll see that. If it's something about prices pushing lower, then that might not be good, because then that's going to be even more bearish, but we'll see. But you could use it as projection or timing points. That's what the Bradley model is showing. And let's see, spectrum. Yep. The last one is the neural net. So the computer, I know I had something here on the 24th of September that didn't pan out. Right now, keep an eye on 11/11. That's what the computer neural net is showing. And I think that's it. I don't want to make this video too long. One last thing is the RSI. We made a low here at 666. We pushed really deep low in the RSI, and then we popped, and then we pushed lower while the RSI is a little higher than the low of here, 666. So there's a divergence. So the momentum to the downward pressure is not as strong, which is, I think, a positive if you're a long-term holder and have a bullish thesis that a possible turning point is just around the corner. Hopefully you like this video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button and the alert button, and I'll keep you posted more of my thoughts on AppHarvest. But as of right now, I'm just going to hold on. So my thesis is next week should be interesting. If nothing really happens, it became a dud. But if something does happen and volume starts picking up and we start at least making higher highs and higher lows, there could be a chance and a possibility that the swing low could be possibly in this week. But all these things have to happen in order for, price confirmation for that, to indicate that maybe the turn is in and the swing low is in. As of now, just keep watching it, monitoring it, and let's see what happens. And I'll keep you posted on my thoughts. AppHarvest, using WGN price and time technical analysis.